I was speaking with my co-chair, Julie Garland, and we were talking about different ways to bring our community together and make kind of an all-inclusive event to be able to not only honor Martin Luther King Jr. As a day of service, but also to just have an opportunity for folks from across our region to just come together and connect in more of a fun, low-key way.
Because Be Inclusive has some of the book lists already, because of the Multicultural Books Initiative, we just thought it would be a great idea to use some of those lists and make them available through our bookshop website for people to purchase and donate directly to the cause. And so we just put the books together on the list and allowed people to go on and purchase them. And then the donations will directly benefit the schools in the library here in the town of Wrentham.
The Delaney and Roderick libraries over in the Wrentham schools, they're losing their librarians, so they're losing their access to the sales network. So they'll still be able to have access to their library, but without the sales network. And so we thought we would partner with Be Inclusive, which holds their multicultural book initiative, and so we thought that was a great opportunity to ask people to, donate books to create a book drive, and then to chalk the walk of our library to remind folks that the library is an amazing place where all are welcome, and that reading is power, and knowledge is something to be protected.
Folks are writing messages about peace and love, equality, education for all, just a lot of the similar messages that we would hear from Martin Luther King when he would give his speeches and come together with crowds. The purpose of the event today is to bring people together to honor Martin Luther King Jr. and celebrate the holiday together, and decorating the walk for the library with inclusive messages and messages about justice and peace to honor Martin Luther King Jr.
A lot of the themes I see are all about love, all about community, embracing justice, and embracing all of the things that some people are going through, like food insecurity, understanding what that means, and understanding how our community members can help each other go and deal, some of the things they're facing and going through. Bookshop is a website that anyone can go on and purchase books, and they allow you to go on and buy books from local community bookstores. It's like a hub for bookstores, and so Be Inclusive has an affiliate page, so all of our book lists from the Multicultural Books Initiative are on our book site through Bookshop, so people can go on if they're interested in looking up one of our books from a couple of years ago that we donated. You can go on and keyword search for any of the books, and then a small portion of the proceeds come back to Be Inclusive.
The list that Shantae and Kristen helped us design includes books that address all different types of diversity, including disability, food insecurity, housing insecurity, all sorts of things that are, instances where that highlight diversity that you may not see in or be aware of in your town. And so we want kids to realize that there are different personal stories out there and how they can help. The book itself that we chose, We Want to Go to School, talks about the fight for a group of disabled children to go to school like every other child. And it was really a fundamental case that changed the way that disabled children are given access to education. The story walk is all about that fight for justice. And tying it into Martin Luther King Jr. Day, it is about taking on these issues head on and trying to fight for what is right, which in this case was for kids to be able to go to school with other kids just like anyone else. And the story walks through the whole history of it, as well as having some really great notes in the back, which are on the table up front. And then the Chalk the Walk is an opportunity for the kids and the adults to draw about what they think justice looks like.
Because of today being Martin Luther King Day, we wanted to really make sure that we had a book that tied in justice, equality, and some of the themes and goals that Dr. King had. Also to make sure that we are educating around different abilities. And so this book was chosen because it really helped fit and tied in all of those themes and the sense of community that really they wanted to come across.
I have a daughter who's disabled, and I personally have lived that, and I've been very, very fortunate that we've been in Massachusetts, and my daughter's had many opportunities that kids 40 years ago would not have had. And frankly, kids in other parts of the country don't have today. There is a point where kids did not have those rights, and they were sequestered to separate classrooms that were subpar. All kids want to be able to go to school and have a similar experience, and be able to learn and be with friends and be with people, and they deserve the same quality of education as all kids do.
So the book that we chose, which is We Want to Go to School with the Fight for Disability Rights, is basically a story about how IDEA and FAPE, which are now federal laws, came into place after a long, long time of advocacy through the disability community. Basically, they brought a court case against the school district in order to say we deserve to have access to a free and public education regardless of our ability. And so one of the messages of Martin Luther King is to shine a light on injustice. And these families who brought this court case up were shining a light on injustice from their own experience. And so some of the messages are really around, how do we shine a light on injustice today? And part of that, I think, is asking kids and individuals, what do we not know we don't know yet? And that's one of the things that happened with the story of these families in the fight for disability rights was, if you didn't have a child with a disability, it wasn't something that was necessarily on your mind. And so part of the messages here are really to think about the things that we have access to that other people may or may not have access to.
My wife and I have been very focused on doing more service in our life. And we even got a strong message that we felt out of the election that a lot of issues are actually around connecting with people. That there's a lot of loneliness out there, people disconnected, people uncertain about themselves, about their future. And so ever more connecting is a big piece of what we do. I'm also a member of the Lions Club, and so here was another event to do something to build bridges. And for example, the book here I brought, The New Kid, is also about a kid coming into a community and feeling disconnected and lonely. So providing a book for other kids to understand is part of that simple mission.
If you don't open the doors for people to let them participate fully, you are really hindering their civil rights. My background is in special education, so this focus of inclusivity, not only around civil rights issues, but around people with disabilities, which is part of civil rights, is very important to me. Situations like this where we do the book walk, it makes kids aware, kids are watching us. So this is something that's easy to understand, it's positive, it's fun, and it's welcoming.
I'm hoping that they're able just to spend the day honoring Martin Luther King Jr., remembering why we're celebrating this holiday, maybe learning a little bit more about him and the things that he really worked towards and what he advocated for beyond just civil rights, so that there was really a lot more to him than just what we hear about for this one day in the year. And we hope that they continue to learn about the work that he's done, and he's not just thought about and talked about today, but he really is somebody that folks can learn more about throughout the whole year.
I hope that folks take away from this event that, justice can be capital J justice, like a court case that gives kids the ability to go to school with everyone else. And it can also be small justice, like working in your community to make sure there are books that represent different viewpoints in the library. Justice doesn't have to be capital J justice to be really, really important.
I really hope people really took away the fact that communities can come together from different places, all for a common goal. Partnerships are super important. And the message of inclusivity and justice is also important and can be found in so many different ways. And is really impactful and can help so many different people, regardless of their race. It's been great collaborating with Krista and Julie from Wrentham DTC, and I'm really grateful that we were able to put this event together today.